Are you looking to stay informed about what's going on in Madison without the media spin? Well, here's the latest news from the Wisconsin Assembly Chambers brought right into your home, directly from the office of your representative, who truly values his constituents' feedback and in always working hard on the issues that matter to you. Welcome to the Ramthun Report.
Hello fellow patriots, welcome to our 20th episode, and we are here by the Liberty Bell to give you some important topics to discuss over the Independence Day weekend. This week's hot topics include some historic news on big tax cuts for the state budget, a look at 3 important bills Governor Evers vetoed in June, some exciting info on what our office is pushing to see in Wisconsin's election audit, and I have a little sneak peek to end the episode on something big that we are working on. So without further ado, here's Representative Ramthun with some great news about tax cuts.
Hello everybody, thank you very much for tuning in to this week's Ramthun Report, number 20. I want to speak at the budget that we passed this week on Tuesday in the Assembly. It was a 10-hour marathon session, and yesterday in the Senate it passed. The number of votes to approve this budget were historic in nature. Never before has a Wisconsin state legislative budget passed with as many votes as this one did. That is historic in nature. The tax rebate given to the people who give us the money to help run the state, we are giving back $3.4 billion of that money to the people in permanent tax cuts, and the way we did it is in the bracket from $24,720 per year up to $272,720 per year. A majority of the people of the state fall into that income bracket. That was reduced from 6.27 to 5.3. I'd like to see that inch down a little bit more at the next budget, but that's where we get a majority of the $3.4 billion in tax savings. So that was a huge element in the budget. This office will be putting out Facebook posts, perhaps in our e-updates as well, perhaps on the page in general, other elements of goodness, and there are plenty of them, of this budget for this cycle. So keep an eye on that. I want everybody to be aware of the depth of value and purpose for the people that this budget provided this cycle. Be aware of them all, because we're looking at either have the governor sign this in full without changing anything, which I doubt, or signing it but with partial vetoes, which will affect the goodness levels, and I want you to know what they are so that you know what you lose if he does partial veto. And I expect him to do that because he'll want to claim that it's his budget. We didn't accept his 1,846 pages. This budget is far more purposeful, focused on priorities, better by a mile, and I think he'll want to try to claim credit for it, so he'll probably try to change it a little bit and then claim victory perhaps. Or he could just veto the whole thing. And if that's the case, I don't see the legislative body having a backup plan. We'll just revert to the existing budget, which is about $4 billion less in spending and no new programs. And he can live with that. So I think he'll sign it. I suspect he'll partial veto.
Remember to check our Facebook post to see important highlights on the budget each day. We'll be watching to see if the governor vetoes the budget, because we've been keeping tabs on what he's been doing. Speaking of which, here's a few vetoes from June that clearly show an agenda for schools, elections, and small businesses.
The second thing I'd like to run past is vetoes. Speaking of vetoes, this week we had a tough deal with 3 bills that I wanted to see pass and didn't. AB 59, its companion Senate Bill 41 were relative to school choice, and that's to help emphasize the effect of CRT in our schools. That bill was vetoed by the governor. The second bill of concern is AB 173, Senate Bill Companion 207, private money in elections, Zuckerberg monies coming into the state to help elections and to help fund elements like CTCL. The governor also felt that that's okay. So we're going to veto that to not protect the voters' rights and not protect the integrity of our elections. And last but not least, AB 336, Senate Bill Companion 314, the $300 additional federal money going to unemployment per week for people to stay home and not be incented to go to work to help businesses. So we have got businesses struggling, looking for help. Unemployment rates are at 3.8%, and we still have people claiming that they need to be off and so they can get this extra money. So it's unfortunate that those items passed.
I hope you guys remember, if he vetoes what matters to you, then you know what to do in 2022. But first we need to make sure that confidence in our election process is restored. Here's Representative Ramthun to let you know what we're trying to do here in the Wisconsin's election audit that you will be very pleased to hear.
Last but not least, the election audit, a lot of questions, a lot of comments coming from constituents on the election activity, and there was an email sent out by the chair which gave us an idea of the scope of the audit and the statements specifically that the audit team is using to do their work that started in February, and I didn't see a whole lot in there that was specific to mail-in ballots and the reconciliation of mail-in ballots and how mail-in ballots were processed from fold marks, which would either be by a person or by a machine, which they should be by a machine, and as well as the vote itself, what type of indentation is made on the specific ballot. So I've got a call out and a request out to the Legislative Audit Bureau to enhance the scope of the project to include this element. I don't think a statewide analysis is necessary. Perhaps Waukesha, Milwaukee, maybe Dane, Green Bay, La Crosse area probably would be areas I'd like to have them focus on to make sure that the integrity of the ballots are good. So last but not least, in regards to the veto effect, Tristan is putting together some significantly good work on a timeline. It's 11 pages currently, and it's loaded with links to show evidence and proof of the issues and the activities that have occurred since its onset, which started essentially in 2004. The Individuals with Disabilities Act was enacted in 2004. That's the IDEA funding from the federal level. That's where this starts. That's bookend on this side, and then the bookend on the other side to show agenda, to show intent, to show purpose, to push hidden agenda. It ends with the most recent vetoes here in the state of Wisconsin. So we're looking to elevate awareness on this information, these 11 pages of activity on the timeline. A lot going on, and continuing to work of, by, and for the people, and communicating back to you so that you know what we're doing here in this office as well as this building. So thank you for your time. Have a great holiday weekend. Bye now.
I'll be excited to see if we can get an audit on paper ballots in the areas that the Zuckerbucks were used. I'd love to find something in those areas after the governor's latest veto. As Representative Ramthun had said, I've been keeping track on the governor since I got here. It became abundantly clear that there is an agenda at play, so I've been building a comprehensive timeline that ties it all together so I can reveal the agenda to the people. I assure you that behind closed doors, the left has been pushing to remove your rights and further the agenda to destroy America for very many years. So like our forefathers fought against the tyranny for our independence, I'm looking forward to showing all of Wisconsin that we need to stand up and unite in the open if we want to stay free. This concludes our 20th episode of the Ramthun Report. Don't forget to check the links below and make a Ramthun request. Remember to share this content with as many of your fellow patriots as possible. Together, we can truly restore the principles of a government of, by, and for the people. We hope you enjoy your Independence Day weekend. God bless you and yours always.